Yes, guys. Okay, we've got another episode, and I'm joined by IFBB Pro. Was IFBB Pro Bikini, but it's now as 2026 is going to
Hmm.
be IFBB Pro Fit Model. It
Yeah,
is Emily. Emily, it's been a minute since we caught up.
I know. I know. When did we last speak, actually? God, it was like December time now, wasn't it?
Yeah, back at the start of this year or December time. But look,
Yeah.
let's go straight into it.
Hmm.
Fit Model.
I know.
When when it was announced.
Yeah.
And Tyler dropped that official video and all the stuff all spiraled. At
Hmm.
what point did you think this is the division for me?
I wasn't initially sure at first because it's so diff like I think when you've been like chasing the bikini look for so long, obviously I'm small, so really, really challenging to like gain the muscle on my frame to get there. But when you've been chasing it for so long and then they introduce a new class that's a lot perceived to be a lot smaller, you think, oh, well, where do I fit? And I remember literally being like, well, I'm not going to fit into fit model, and I'm never going to get to the size I need to be for bikini unless I really like dedicate to an off season. And to be honest, at that point, I was just a little bit lost anyway, because I just come off the back of my season, which was shocking. And now I was like, I don't know where I'm headed. I don't know where I'm going. And then as fit model, and even now, as it progresses further within the amateurs and more overalls and pros are being, announced, the more I'm seeing the standard come to light. Also looking at other IFBB pros that are going into moving from bikini into fit model as well, I started to think, okay, well, maybe this might be where I actually belong. So yeah.
Was was there a certain Fit Model Pro Card winner? And when they win a Pro Card, you like, that's the physique that I am either I have or I won my Pro Card, or maybe that's yes, I see it. That's now I want to be part of it.
Not necessarily. I think it's more of a case of like I've derived bits from each one that I see. Because some of the fit models I see and I think, ah, no, I'm nothing like them. And others I'll see and I'll think they might have more prominent delts. And I think, oh, okay, my delts are very similar. But then again, there are some that have way more developed quads than me. And I think I'm not even on par with that. So I think it's more of a case of as more and more we're being coming to light, the more I was starting to see the overall structure they were coming to. Because obviously everybody's physique's different, but they all start to kind of align to look kind of similar. Obviously, we're always going for that kind of hourglass look. And then I start to see, okay, well, the main thing for me is delts. Like I've spent so long building my delts that I'm like, oh, obviously I've not been training them for the past however many months to kind of reduce them a little. But as I started to see more girls, there was a girl recently, I can't think what her name was. Um, she had short blonde hair, blue bikini, and she had a beautiful physique. And she had nice, like prominent delts, not too excessive. But when I looked at them, I thought, I literally sent it to my coach and was like, this one. And she was like, I thought the same. And I thought, okay, we're good.
So let's go back because obviously there's a lot of IFE pros who win a pro card bikini who are
Mhm.
still are about moving to fit model. They want to see the division develop more. They want to see what is happening with the pro shows as of 2026.
Yeah.
You announced it very early on that you wanted to make the transition into fit model. What was that response like when you did put it out there?
Do you know what? For me personally, I've had a lot of people say that they think that's where I'm going to fit, which obviously excites me. I'm excited about it. And I think overall it's been positive. I've not really had anyone say, I mean, no one's going to say to my face, so they know I don't think you should do, like, no, you don't, you're not going to fit. But I feel like I've had a lot of genuine responses from people saying, no, actually, I think that would really work for you. And I know people are excited to see me in it. I'm excited to see me in it. And I would also say that I feel like no pressure at all because I just don't really know. It's like doing your first ever show again,
Yeah.
but different category.
So, I mean, one thing I want to throw in as well, because it's
Mhm.
great to hear that obviously it was positive and people felt that that was going to be the right direction for you. I agree as well. It just made perfect sense when you announced it and owning it straight away rather than waiting until the back end of the season. You
Mm,
jumped on it straight away, which was great. What's been, you've obviously seen then the transition in regards how the division's being perceived on a social media perspective.
yeah.
From right at the start, where it was predominantly, let's face facts, predominantly it was
Negative.
negative because
Oh,
it
well,
was
yeah.
still alien. We didn't know. As it's gone on, there's been a shift, but it's still
Negative.
it's still up in the air. And of
Yeah.
course, you still have the a certain sector of the Bible industry that still won't, don't accept it at the moment.
Yeah.
What is your perception of how the division has been evolving over such a short period, which is only what, 8 months, really?
Mm. I think it's definitely gotten, I think it's not as negative as it was, but I still think it's perceived negatively, 100%. I think until it's maybe in the Pro League and we see the standard that it looks in the Pro League, I still don't think people taking it necessarily as seriously as they could be. People look at Fit Model and other athletes look at Fit Model and think, well, there's no condition, there's no muscle, there's this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I'm going into it in the pro league. I've not dedicated 7 years of my life to fucking about and doing nothing. Like I've been really, really trying to develop my muscle. Naturally, obviously, it's way more challenging to do that on a female frame. Like, especially when you're petite like me, I'm 5'2". I weigh roughly 55 kilos now. And when I'm trying to build muscle, like it's not easy to do. So you still, obviously, as I say, depending on what level they bring into the pro league, which I don't doubt is going to be more, slightly more muscular than the amateurs, and probably a little bit more conditioned than the amateurs as well. That's hard to achieve as a small female. Like it's hard, and it does still take years of work, but because it's not, in my opinion, because people look at it and think there's not loads of muscularity behind it and there's not loads of definition condition behind it, that it's worthless within the industry. But actually, majority of the time, it's just a naturally attainable physique for a female. Don't get me wrong, within the amateur division, I've seen some physiques that I personally think, that probably needs more muscularity, that probably needs more condition. There are some where it does look like they've just walked off the street onto the stage. I'm not taking away from the hard work that that person probably still does in the gym, but maybe not necessarily prepped as severely as you would for bikini. And obviously, I've been there, I've done that, I've got to the level of lean I need to. I know that's hard work, but it's hard work to a point where your health is really like my health in my last prep, in all honesty, has completely like ruined me. There's a lot of health issues that I'm working through now that are getting better, that are off the back end of that prep. And like I said, getting to that level of condition naturally and then trying to maintain it for a long period of time is really challenging. Whereas I think fit model is going to be a lot less, people's health is going to be compromised a lot less, hopefully.
Do you think as well then, because we're still waiting for maybe some of the big names in IPB Bikini that's competing on the Olympia stage to announce maybe their transition into the fit model. Do you think that that is the door we're waiting for those names to announce that they're coming over to fit model to add to give it more substance, give it more credential? Because right now we still we want to see what the pro live looks like. Then all
Yeah.
of a sudden that's going to be that's going to elevate the division because right now we're just looking at amateur ranks and all the newbies coming in, winning a pro card. We've
Yeah.
seen some IPROs announce they're moving to fit model, but nobody really who've competed on the Olympia stage,
Mm.
I believe. So do you think that that's going to be the turning point for the division?
I think it would be. I'm just unsure whether there's anybody who's been up on the Olympia stage that as bikini that could potentially go into fit model because
Yeah, I've been shouting one name for a while, thinking that I'm hoping that she's going to come on one of the Bikini Inside episodes in the next couple of weeks. And that's a former Olympia winner, Janet
okay.
Lang.
Oh my God.
who I know has really kind of come. I've seen more content recently
Yeah.
in posing seminars, going through the fit model, and there was one I was like,
Oh yeah.
if I was ever one to make a transition into fit model, who's already won an Olympia title, it would be Janet.
That would be like she's honestly one of my she is actually my bikini idol. And to see her in Fit Model would be, oh my gosh, amazing. That would be amazing. Like that would definitely elevate the category for sure. And I think of all the athletes that I can think of, I think she would mold pretty well into it. She's not been on stage for a little while, but I think, yeah, that would be one hell of a comeback, and I would love to be alongside her for that.
Just look ahead at 2026 then. Obviously, yeah, you're moving into Fit Model division. We haven't got any dates anyway. We've got no dates on when the first show is going to be that's going to have the Fit
Mm,
Model division. Have you thought timeline when you want to step on stage in Fit Model? Because of course, the very start of the 2026 and we've started pro shows is when history is going to be made. It's going to be like who's going to be the first ever European Pro Fit Model winner? Who's the first ever Pro Fit Model winner? Who's the first Pro Fit Model winner to qualify for Olympia? Like
Olympia,
all these things where it's going to put this person or a number of Fit Model competitors on a pedestal as, okay, they are now the faces of the division because now we've got someone to look at on the pro ranks.
yeah.
Have you thought about whenever time of year that you might want to make that jump?
Yeah, I've already decided when I want to go into the category. And I was gonna keep it a secret, but I think I want to be at the first show because initially I want to be there to help set the standard, maybe, but also for like personal preference, I don't want to watch the fit model division come to light more and more and more as the year goes on. And for me to get in my own head and to start thinking, do I fit into this? Should I do this? Should I not? I'd rather get up there straight away with a load of other girls that don't know what the pro standard's going to be like and rip the band-aid off to be like, yeah, you fit or no, you don't. I want to know straight away. I don't want to mess about and wait round and see and think, oh, well, maybe I need to manipulate my condition more for this, or maybe I need to do this. I just want to go in and go, here I am. This is what I've been working on. This is what I think fit model is on me. Is it what you want? And then go from there.
You know when the first show might be?
No, I ain't got a clue, but I'm speculating.
Uh, so what I've heard, I've spoken to Angie and Emily, is that it's very likely to be Tokyo is going to be the first show because of course that's where the first pro card was
Yeah.
awarded. So it's looking very likely that that will be the first show, which what's that going to be? The start of February, I believe, then maybe start of
Yeah.
Feb.
So it's February time.
Yeah.
That's the one that's in the back of my mind currently.
Hmm.
And then a couple weeks later, it's the Arnold show as well. But obviously, I don't know what the conditions in terms of like qualifying for
So
that
yeah, I don't
is.
see
But
the Fitball division in the Arnold yet if they haven't got the well. It's an invite only into it, so without
yeah,
having the data, and also look, there's certain classes like figure and 212 aren't even in the Arnold, so I don't think they'll
yeah,
probably bring
true.
in the
Mm,
first one, the first people in until maybe a year, 2 years, just to bring
come on.
the number of pros. But yeah, I imagine Tokyo will be the first one, and then of course, I mean, yeah, if but what's going to be the European one? I'm trying to think when was the first?
I did look at that. I literally looked at it the other day, but I
Maybe
can't.
FIBO potentially
Yeah, that
April.
was it. It was that. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So we'll see. And do you know what's nice about Fit Model as well is I feel again f for me is probably more realistic that in that category I can potentially hold on to the level of condition I need for a longer period of time.
I was going to ask that, so I was going to ask your thoughts because I've seen a lot of amateur competitors who've been, pushing for that IFBB Pro card and therefore have been able to compete regularly
Mm,
because of the criteria for the division. we
Yeah.
see a lot more girls do m more shows, which is great for show promoters. It means that,
Yeah.
and also great for the girls because they get more experience. I guess that's something that you would agree with, that as a pro,
Mhm.
you're gonna have the capabilities of doing more shows than ever before.
Yeah,
Am I right to
definitely.
believe that?
Yeah, ever before. The last time I did multiple shows was when I was an amateur in bikini, and obviously the bikini was very different then, and that was only a few years ago, and I could do, 5 shows in a season across like a long period of time, and I'd be okay. And my condition would, don't get me wrong, you're always going to peak more for one or two than the others, but I'd be able to maintain a really good look, and I have had really good seasons off the back of it. But then there's obviously things into the pro league, which is inevitable. You go into the pro league, of course, things are going to get harder, conditions going to get more, size is going to get more. But now the level of condition that I'd need and the level of mass that I'd need, and again, being natural, and I know I go on about being natural all the time, but that's because it does
It
actually
is your
matter.
coach's name. It's on your bio, it's your
Yeah, it's my
brand.
thing. But that's the thing, like getting to that level of lean and holding that level of muscle mass is just never going to happen. Like you can't do 5 back-to-back shows naturally, hold the same level of condition and muscle that you need to excel within the pro league. It's just not going to happen for me anyway. Like, don't get me wrong, there will be some girls with amazing genes out there that might be able to do that, but not me. But Fit Model will hopefully take me back to my amateur days where I could smash out 5 shows and make sure I was good for all of them.
I also want to ask something because something I've seen from you as well is you've really tried to put a lot of content out around the football division. Obviously,
Mhm.
I also saw that you were at Phoebe's event the other
Mhm.
week, and I
Mhm.
imagine it was you were talking about on the football division there as well.
Yeah.
Bikini, we see that the faces of us, or the main faces for the UK is like Kerry Sexton and Phoebe Hagan, who's not based in the UK, but and Figure, Rhea, Meg Sylvester,
Mhm.
Sophie is now quite for Olympia. Do you see yourself as there's an opportunity for maybe you to solidify yourself as being one of the key spokesperson or the key faces for the UK for the female division, which is why you've been putting so much content out and why also you want to try to do one of the early shows to maybe solidify yourself in a position where you are one of the go-to
Yeah.
people in the female division for UK.
I'd love that. Yeah, I'd absolutely love that. And that's the thing, like I've always wanted to be a face for natural athletes to see their capabilities. And I'd love to be a face for Fit Model. And I'd love for people to take Fit Model seriously because one thing I felt within the sport for a fair few years is that sometimes people don't always take the smaller divisions and the girls seriously when actually like I would show up to prep every time and I always get it done. I always get the level of condition I need. I always get where I need to be. But yeah, sometimes you don't feel like you're taken seriously as an athlete, whereas I want to get up and do Fit Model, and I'd love to be a part of the standard, and I'd love to solidify myself as an IFBB pro and a face of one of the categories. And I want people to see, actually, yeah, I do take this seriously, and I have done for the last 7 years.
That's a great place to end it
Mic
there.
drop.
There we go. I mean, that's why I want to throw it out there because obviously I've seen, whether it's reels or stories or posts that you are very much trying to push the the positive narrative of football division. And look, we've already seen plenty of people that have stated that they feel the division will one day be the most popular division in the IFBB Pro League, in the NPC, because
Mhm.
of how attainable it is. And right now, it's just like any other division, it's just finding its feet
Yeah,
and it's finding its
definitely.
direction. The moment you look at all the divisions back in the day, bikini, when it
Mm,
made its debut in 2010, or men's physique a couple of years later, they all took time to evolve. The only difference for bikini is, sorry, for fin model is the fact that you do have a division in bikini where you have a feeder of competitors who decided, you know what, I'm going to fit fin model more
mhm.
than bikini. So we're going to see influx on that side, and we're going to see influx of
That's
competitors
so
who want to just
exciting.
start and they want to
Yeah.
start fin model.
That's the thing, it's meeting in the middle because you're literally getting the pros up here and then you're getting the amateurs that are just turning pro and then they're all going to come together on that pro stage and that's what really excites me because I'm like, oh, what are they going to go for? What are they going to go that's in between that? Because we've definitely seen some IFBB pros that have been awarded, the fit model pros that have been awarded this year that I look at and I like literally I'll say it, I personally do look at and I think, not quite like the muscle I would kind of think or the condition I kind of think. Not to say that they can't get there or they wouldn't get there, but I wouldn't look at the physique and potentially go, oh, I think that's 100%, what the pro standard would be. And then I'd look at some pros and think, well, are some of the pros that are coming down potentially too muscular as well? So are we going to need someone in the middle? And then that's when I come in.
Have you still have the same coach?
No, I'm back with my old coach, Claire. So
Okay,
I
so,
was with her for a long period of time, obviously made the switch over to Jake for a period of time, and then I've moved back to Claire.
is there anybody else you think who is currently IFBB Pro, maybe even retired, that you think that might make the transition into fit model?
I don't
I
know.
wonder if I'm hinting at somebody, maybe one of my co-hosts on a weekly podcast I run.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know who you're on about. I don't know any. Have no insider knowledge. No insider knowledge. We've spoke every now and again about Fit Model, but I have no insider knowledge, so I can't comment. But I'm definitely going to message her after this.
If you guys, if you know, you know. Okay, Emily, I appreciate your time so much. And yes, I can't wait to see, obviously, the opening pro show for the female division. I think that's where it really is going to take off, not just with the ones we know have got their pro card, but also to see who are the IP pros who are going to make that transition
Yeah,
into fit model from bikini. And I'm hoping that we do see some legendary names in the bikini division who may have retired or may have been an Olympia and just not getting the result they wanted because
yeah,
it's a better fit. And I think for a lot of IP pros who are bikini, they also want to see who are the ones who are making my transition. And oh, wait there, I'm similar to that person.
yeah,
And I think the more we see that in the pro ranks, the more we see that in the pro shows, the more we're going to start seeing more bikini pros transition because they also want to see, wait there, who are they going for
yeah,
in those
definitely.
early pro shows? And that's when I think all of a sudden it's going to be a snowball effect by the time it gets around Olympia, because we already know the fit model is going to be an Olympia division in 2026.
Oh, I
Um,
didn't know. I didn't know that.
well, I mean,
Well, now I
when
know.
when I had an interview with Danny, oh no, sorry, it was Steve. Steve did say that yeah, the Fit Model division will be at the Olympia in 2026.
Please, love that. That's exciting. I mean, I wouldn't expect it not to be fair. With them doing the pro shows, it's got to be, isn't it?
Yeah,
But yeah, that's really exciting. I'm really excited for next year. Like I feel very positive about it. Just not just in like regards to my journey, but just in general. I just think it's such a good move for the sport. Like, and I know people don't always agree with it, but I don't care what other people say. Like my girls and my clients are happy, and I know so many others are thriving into it, and I know I'm going to thrive into it and enjoy it. And it's given me a new lease for life in competing because after last year, I genuinely thought I was done. Whereas as soon as Fit Model came around, I thought, no, that's where I belong.
that's a great way to end it. Emily, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Suki.